We are. Man, we are the team to beat in the NFL. Not just the AFC West, it's the NFL.
And that's your mindset?
For sure. For sure. And we feel like when we in practice, we going against our offense, we need to beat them because they're the best. They need to beat us because we the best. And that's how we going to get better.
Are you surprised how big your motto ASAP when you took off last year? Such a good team in a row.
That's what it is, man. It's I'm not surprised because that's what we was, and that's what we still is. Like it ain't something that we just, let's make up something, let's make up a myth. No, we created that by going out and performing no matter where we was at, and that's what it was. That's what it still is.
You tied for most wins in the conference last year, but since
That don't make no difference. We ain't win no ring.
Since everybody looks in New England and Kansas City, you guys got a chip on your shoulder because you guys.
Nah, we ain't got no chip on our shoulder. We don't care about nothing they doing. We care about what we got going on out here. We ain't got no chip on our shoulder because nobody else. We got a chip on our shoulder because we didn't win a ring. It ain't about New England, KC, or anybody else. It's about us in this locker room, on this field. It's about us. That's what it's all about.
Melvin, you mentioned getting older and continue to develop as you become an older player. You recently turned 30. How do you feel?
Amazing. I feel like I'm 21 again, to be honest, man. I feel great, man, like a kid in a candy store. For real. Nah, it don't mean nothing to me. I ain't human, so it really don't mean nothing to me.
Who do you think is the best pass rushing duo in the NFL?
I don't really think about none of that. We know who the best pass rushing duo is. You do. That's why you asked me that question. I don't think about none of that. What's understood ain't got to be explained.
Mel, did you go to the pass rushing?
Yeah.
What do you get from that?
I got a lot. I learned so much from a lot of great players. I learned a lot. And it's definitely something what Vaughn put together there. Money can't buy that. Money can't buy you being around some of the greatest players in this league that's doing it right now and just learning from them. And that's what it was, a whole day of us just on field doing stuff, in the classroom, watching film, telling us what you think, what you was thinking right here. It was priceless. It was definitely priceless.
Some of the principles that you're trying to teach the younger guys that are coming on this squad that you guys have already put together, like you said, any squad, any play.
Yeah. Man, we just teaching a winning atmosphere. It's just all about us, man. Leave it all out there. Play every play like it's your last play. And trust the man beside you. Like, if you know, if we go in the alley and I got my back to you and you got your back to me, you ain't got to look back here because I got you. And I ain't going to look back there because you got me. And that's the mentality we got around here.
What did you think about the way the Chargers drafted, adding Jerry?
Great. It was great. With every pickup we picked up was great, and it's going to help us. It's definitely going to help us. And it's going to show when we start playing, we start practicing more, we start playing. It's going to be fun to watch.
You sound like you're very excited for this.
I am, man. I'm always excited for football. Come on, man. With this team, how could you not be excited?
Thanks, Mel.
Yep.
Hey. Okay, it's good. I think the way we handle it, we have OTAs, and a lot of our work was done there. You know, we looked at different things scheme-wise, player-wise, and now this gives us a chance to kind of put it together. We still have situational football that we're working on, but I think just looking at combinations of guys and really get a chance to look at some of our younger players as well.
Can you talk about the enthusiasm that you get from a player like
now Adley's not practicing? How much could that possibly set them back with training camp, or is there still plenty of time?
Well, you always would like to have guys practice, but I think for those guys what's cool is about how much they're getting out of meetings and how they're getting out of practice. So, you know, the extra time that we can spend with a rookie, you know, in the afternoon and go through film sessions and things like that, I think is beneficial. Ideally, you want them to practice, but that's the way I think I mentioned that before about the be anxious for nothing. Just make sure that you don't miss anything today. And I think for a lot of times, you know, in guys, if they go through this, if they do it the right way, the game will slow down for them in training camp. And that's really what we're hoping for.
Trevor was out there and he was getting some reps with the first team. How much has he improved from last year, based on being a football?
Well, I think the health is the big part of it. We're starting to see him. I think we saw him in phase 2 move around, and we were cautiously optimistic. And then we saw him out in practice, and we're seeing that same speed that he had. So it's a great sign for him. So, you know, if a guy works hard like that and you're seeing him progress, to give him some chance with the ones, I think is important. And he's earned that opportunity. So it'll be a great competitive situation come training camp.
Gus, you saw a lot of trust in Rayshon Jenkins in the playoffs last year. And then the way this offseason's gone, where have you seen his growth gone, and what are your hopes for him?
Well, Rayshon, I think, was a guy that really what position was he going to play? I mean, we looked at strong safety, and then we also looked at him as a linebacker, to maybe put on some weight and get up to 220 and him play linebacker for us. And, and then towards the end of the year, he played free safety. But I think what he's done now is he feels like that free safety opportunity is there for him. He's dropped his weight. He's under 200 pounds. He's faster. I think he's got a real good focus now where we want him to play, what we're anticipating, what we're hopeful that he does bring to the table, and I think he's really bought into that. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles it in training camp as well. But he's had a good OTAs now, good OTAs.
Gus, how's this linebacker group look, and just adding Thomas, but also some guys coming back?
Well, that's good too. I think that's the group I think specifically that we're moving some guys around just to see how it fits. But Thomas Davis, I'm getting to know him each and every day that we're together. Just his professionalism. You hear about what he brings to the table as a player and his demeanor and his work ethic, but then to experience it. And then, it's hard when you're learning a defense to create a standard of what's acceptable, and he's done that from day one. So he's great in that room. Awesome. And I think as he has a better understanding, that's what we're seeing this. That's what I think with minicamp for him now, where he's starting to have a really good understanding and hold all the other guys accountable. It just comes naturally to him. So he's been a big get for us.
Just what about some of those guys coming back from injury? Because that was a group that got hit pretty good.
It was, Kaiser, to see where he's playing. He's playing multiple positions for us. Denzel Perriman's starting, still limited, but we're seeing him come back. Now get Jatavis Brown. So I think the big thing is the competition within that group. I think if you look from, top to bottom, you feel like it's a stronger group, and there's a lot more competition. And that's a good thing. Now it's just, compete and stay healthy.
But the way you guys drafted this year, and then when you first came, is this getting close to the vision that you have for this defense as far as how you want to set it up?
Yeah, I think this is probably our fastest defense, that we've had as far as a group of guys. So, and there's some, this was a good roster before I got here. So, and it got a group of guys that really like to play football. So I give a lot of credit to the players here and the coaches. They've done a good job, what we're looking for and what we're trying to accomplish. And then, I think to get on the same page with Tom and the scouting department so they know how we're going to utilize the talent, what we're looking for. And sometimes that takes some time. But I think we've been kind of on a race to get that done right. And they've done a beautiful job of that with the players.
What does that speed to get guys on the ground, particularly third down, red zone, in open field, to have guys run into the
Well, I think for in our scheme, this team, the game now is where they're trying to spread you out. There's teams that will try to load you up and try to pound you, and you got to be ready for that and have defenses for that. But I think it's trying to spread you out and try to get more space. And when there's offenses are operating with more space, you have to have more speed. And so I think that's what's going to, where we're trying to utilize multiple personnel groupings, whether it's nickel, dime, base. Sometimes we'll be in base and three wides, depending on what a team likes to do. So to have that versatility to where we can, put different guys in based on situation, I think is big. And that's what we're trying to develop now.
Coach, who's been more impressive among the young players?
Who has been?
Among the young players.
You know what? Drew Tranquil, I think, has done a really good job. I think we always felt like he was a strong leader, a strong presence on the field, but just how fast he's picked things up. Coach Smith has done a great job having these guys play multiple positions just to tax them to see what they can handle. And I think he's a guy, as we see him, he's caught our eye, how he's progressed. So, again, there'll be good competition for him. I think he's healthy. I know last year he had some injuries. I know watching his college tape and watching him out here, you see some things carry over, but there's some signs here that I didn't see, when he played in college that really jump out at it. So, I think he's a guy that I think has done a nice job for us.
Coach, this organization has a history of identifying and developing undrafted free agents like Trevor Williams, like Michael Davis. When does that process start for you? Is it minicamp? Is it training camp where you can start to see some of these guys that
Right.
may have a chance?
Well, it's it starts off in OTAs, and how fast they pick things up. The faster they pick things up, the faster they can play. And I think that's our whole objective, is to install enough to where training camp, it's the second or third time that they hear it. But the whole objective is that they understand it so we can see their true speed and how fast they can play. We have a free agent that's making a lot of plays right now out there. He seems to be around the ball quite a bit. And that's what you hope to see, the guys that understand the defense so you can see their instincts. And but you're right, they've done a good job. I think we're closer to being on the same page, what we're looking for personnel-wise, and Tom's vision.
Free agent 36, guys.
Yeah, Teamer? Yeah, he's doing a good job for us. He's a free agent.
For a veteran group, and especially that first team, how much of a balancing act will it be in training camp and preseason between how many snaps they need, but also maybe for...
Well, you know, coaches, we're always pushing for more. You know, we feel like we want to, you know, make sure we're ready for that first game, and the only way you can do it is more reps. But I think Anthony's done a good job of pulling that back, and you know, and I think one of the benefits of going against another team in training camp is that you can get a lot of the work done there too, and maybe not in the preseason games. You can, you know, look at some of the younger guys and see for them making the team. So it is a delicate balance, I think, that you got to strain them enough, make it uncomfortable enough to when you show up that first game that we're prepared and we feel like, okay, we're ready to go, but also knowing that, you know, as the season goes on, you hope to get better as well. Okay? Okay, thank you.